The 34th time I'll speak to you from the Oval Office, and the last. We've been together 8 years now, and soon it'll be time for me to go. But before I do, I wanted to share some thoughts, some of which I've been saving for a long time. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go, and by what route, and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. This belief has been the underlying basis for everything I've tried to do these past 8 years. But back in the 1960s, when I began, it seemed to me that we'd begun reversing the order of things, that through more and more rules and regulations and confiscatory taxes, the government was taking more of our money, more of our options, and more of our freedom. I went into politics in part to put up my hand and say, stop. I was a citizen politician, and it seemed the right thing for a citizen to do. I think we have stopped a lot of what needed stopping. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts. There is a great tradition of warnings in presidential farewells, and I've got one that's been on my mind for some time. But oddly enough, it starts with one of the things I'm proudest of in the past 8 years. The resurgence of national pride that I called the new patriotism. This national feeling is good, but it won't count for much, and it won't last unless it's grounded in thoughtfulness and knowledge. An informed patriotism is what we want. And are we doing a good enough job teaching our children what America is and what she represents in the long history of the world? And as for those who create the popular culture, well-grounded patriotism is no longer the style. Our spirit is back, but we haven't re-institutionalized it. We've got to do a better job of getting across that America is freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise, and freedom is special and rare. It's fragile. It needs production. So we've got to teach history based not on what's in fashion, but what's important. Why the Pilgrims came here, who Jimmy Doolittle was, and what those 30 seconds over Tokyo meant. You know,
Hey, check this out, y'all. So I'm gonna go more in depth about how America is actually powered by this mystery religion. So in part one, I briefly mentioned how America worships the same gods of ancient Babylon. So this is the Statue of Liberty over in New York, right? The truth behind this statue is that it really represents Semiramis. This does not represent freedom like they want y'all to think. It really represents enslavement. First off, the Statue of Liberty was really built by Freemasons. It represents rebellion against God. Look at this. So back in ancient Babylon, she actually told everybody that she was a goddess and that she came down from the moon in an egg. And so one of her other names is Ishtar, and Ishtar translated is actually Easter, and this is how we get the holiday Easter. But she has multiple names and titles, one of them being the Mother of God because she's actually Nimrod's mother. Also the Queen of Heaven, which is what Catholics like to call Mary. But if y'all look, I want to show y'all something. So look at this, right? So look at the sun rays behind her head, right? So this actually represents Baal. It represents Baal. So in ancient Babylon, she told everybody that when Nimrod died, he actually ascended up into the sun and should be worshipped as Baal. And she said that she got impregnated by his sun rays. But there are actually other statues that represent the same thing. Look at this same image for the same reason. This is a statue of Marianne, French Republic, Paris, France. Same energy. This is Columbia Pictures. Peep the sun rays. Same energy. Speaking of Columbia, let's take a look at who is at the top of the U.S. Capitol building. It is the goddess Columbia. She pretty much symbolizes America. Guys, this is just paganism. Columbia is actually just another name for Semiramis, and she's at the top of the U.S. Capitol building. Also, right outside of the U.S. Capitol, we have this Roman god. His name is Mars, and he actually represents Nimrod. And so we have Semiramis and Nimrod, satanic pagan worship, right at the U.S. Capitol. Like, bro, this stuff is honestly so deep, y'all. Like, Semiramis has so many names, like Ashtoreth, Diana of Ephesus. You'll see that in the Bible. But this system was talked about in Revelation. She is the whore of Babylon, the mother of all.
The king has never failed me, and I will not fail him. You deceiver, you liar, you usurper of all that is good and true. I served under you and found nothing but misery.
Silence!
My allegiance is with the celestial king.
Is it?
You heard me.
How many times have you already failed him on this journey? You're a disgrace to this king of yours.
Which makes his mercy and forgiveness the sweeter. You are a deceiver that binds your subjects with invisible chains. The king has broken mine, and I am free. I follow him.